Got it. I was getting a little nervous, Deacon. I didn't know if we was gonna be able to get it. I see your face.
Hold on. Switch around.
I can hear you loud and clear. Deacon, you're live, baby. It's been a minute. How you feeling?
How you doing?
How you feeling, Deacon? It's been too long.
Good. Sorry about that. Yes, ran into some difficulties earlier today.
No, you're fine. I was explaining to everybody, thank you. I was actually thanking them as well for being patient because, we both was getting a little bit refreshed to how to get onto this Instagram Live. It was kind of new to me, too. This is my first Instagram Live in a minute. So I appreciate you making sure that you made this work for us today on this Friday evening. Before we get started, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself so people know exactly who they're listening to.
Everybody can hear me?
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I'm Deacon Eythan of Israel United in Christ. It's been a while. We are a faith-based movement. We teach the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans who they are according to the Bible. The African diaspora and our history in regards to the Bible, the history behind it, the archaeology, everything, all you could think of revolving around our history is pretty much biblical. And we put emphasis on that, and we teach it pretty much every day, and that's what I represent pretty much. That's what our organization represents. Who we are pretty much.
Thank you. And Deacon, we don't have that much time because of the technical difficulties that we run into. So I'm just going to jump straight into it. Normally we would start with a word of the day, but I just want to jump straight into it. I know I want to hear your wealth of information or knowledge that you have going on surrounding this whole Ukraine and Russia situation. So I want to just jump straight into it. What's your thoughts on what's happening over there in Ukraine right now?
Regarding Ukraine, well, it is what it is. It's pretty much the signs of the times, wars and rumors of wars. Let's just jump right into it real fast. Let's jump right into it real quick. Matthew 24, wars and rumors of wars. So we're in right now. 3. Let's get to the point. It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Because many people always say, it's the end of the world, it's the end of the world, it's the end of the world. So how do we know? We're going to read. We're going to jump down to verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So all these things happening right now are pretty much signs of the times, signs of the end. Wars and rumors of wars. Russia pretty much made a power move, and and they took over the Ukraine. It's what it is, and it's a war. So it's a war going on right now. So read again.
Let me ask you a quick question. What do you think about Joe Biden's actions? With the sanctions and everything. What do you think about that?
Joe Biden doesn't know who he is or what time it is. He's old. Joe Biden is just doing whatever he's told to do. Joe Biden is pretty much he's a puppet. He's doing what he's told to do. The sanctions aren't changing anything. The sanctions are making things worse. The American dollar is relied upon by most nations, and Russia's like, oh, the hell with your dollar. Because the American dollar is pretty much worthless, to be honest. It's an IOU on paper. So the Russians are going back to currency, gold and silver, which is real money. They're going back to that, and they're making an allegiance to other nations. It's all pretty much the Lord mustering the battle at this point. The Lord's pretty much stirring the nations up. He's stirring things up to bring about the end. This is
when you say he, what do you mean? When you say he's stirring things up, who's stirring things up?
Not saying the Lord, the God is doing this. All the Lord's doing. God is pretty much stirring the nations up, getting things going. I remember, as you know, Russia and Iran are pretty much in league with each other. China, they're in league. And Iran does not like Israel at all. Okay, Israel and America, Israel's like America Junior. The land of Israel is like America Junior. And Iran already has their nukes. Russia's going to help them more with that because Russia has a beef with America. Remember, Iran and Russia are allies. Israel and America are allies. Russia and Iran are allies. Russia, Iran, and China are allies. These are superpowers. So all this, so once Iran gets the nukes and assistance from Russia and they attack Israel, America has to step in. Once America steps in, it's a wrap.
So do you
Because
think only, let me ask you this question. Do you think it's only America's responsibility to step in? What about Europe? Do you think they should be doing some work too?
well, remember, Europe is trying to step away as well. Europe is trying to do their own thing, start their own military. Okay, the Bible speaks about this. The Europe is referred to, or NATO. That's the European Union. Okay, and Russia is trying to leave them. It's all biblical. All this is biblical. I'm gonna be a short time. Maybe next time we go on again, I will go into it.
We got until 5:30.
Okay.
I pushed my last interview back a little bit. It's 4:55. We got about
okay, so I'll try to squeeze it in. So I'll read verse 6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." This war right now is what's called, the Bible refers to as a birth pain, or a contraction. Whereas in a woman, when she goes through labor, she has contractions.
You sound like you having contractions.
Yeah, right. Contractions. So meaning that the pain comes real strong, then it subsides. Then it comes real strong, then it subsides. Then the baby comes. So these are contractions. These wars. That's why Christ said the end is not yet. So a woman can have birth pains and have contractions, but the baby's not coming forth yet. So it's the same instance. It's the same situation. So these things are simply signs to remind us that, hey, the end is coming. Prepare yourself. But it's not going to come right away, because wars don't start immediate. Wars take time. They take years. But this right here is simply the introduction to the inevitable, which is World War III. That's all this is. This is all the introduction to World War III. World War III is biblical. It's inevitable.
I was literally about to ask you, where do you think the location of World War III was going to be?
Near East. Or what you call Middle East. That's where it starts. That's where it'll begin. The Valley of Jehoshaphat, as the Bible says. I
just want to ask you, can we use war? Can we actually use the word war and tie that into what the word of the day would have been? So I'm actually going to use war as the word of the day. How does that tie into a biblical sense?
In a biblical sense, every empire ends. Every empire has a beginning and end. America's end is marked by what's happening now. Russia stepping in. Russia, America, and China are superpowers. What makes them superpowers? They have a nuclear arsenal. All three are nuclear, are scientifically formidable in nuclear science and nuclear weapons. Now, India has nuclear weapons, and the EU is trying to form their own military. They're going to get nuclear weapons. Okay, China has nuclear weapons. North Korea and South Korea just did a nuclear missile test, I think yesterday or so. South Korea. So it's all inevitable. This is not like a game. People tend to take the Bible very.
So Deacon, would you say this has nothing to do with money? Then this has everything to do with power.
Well, it's a power move, because America's trying to put their missiles there first. It's chess. It's all about strategy. It's war. It's all about strategy. Because Russia, remember the Cuban Missile Crisis, when the country was trying to put missiles where Cuba was. America was like, no, that ain't happening. Russia was trying to put missiles over there. America was like, no, you can't put missiles over there. Because if Russia puts missiles there, they have a closer aim.
Yes, yeah, they can see it.
So America was like, you're not putting missiles over here. Now, right now, Russia want to put, so now America is going to stop Russia from doing the same thing. Russia trying to put missiles over, it's the same thing. It's the same situation, just different. So it's all a power move. It's not about money. It's a power move.
So the power move is about also collecting. And the power move is also about collecting more land.
Well, when it comes to that too, but when it comes to war, money's always involved. If you're going to deal with the money part, that's the gas being raised up. That's money, because there's no reason for the gas to be this high. That's money. That's the money part. If you want to deal with the money, that's the money part, because there's no reason at all for the gas to be this high at all. It's no excuse, none. Because I think Russia owns like 7% of the crude oil. That's not enough to raise the gas this high. So when it never comes to war, that gives the country, the government, the right to pretty much raise taxes and all this excuses to raise taxes and make people spend more money, whatever. This tax season too, So it is what it is.
Do you think that Putin is setting, you know, a precedent as far as going and taking land? Like, do you feel like the taking? Why you make that face? I didn't even ask the question.
Yeah,
Why you make that face?
because Putin, that dude's gangster, man. Putin's gangster. Putin gangster, man. Putin's gangster. Putin's is going to do what he want to do. Putin's going to do it. Russia's not built. America's soft. If you examine your president, he's old and feeble. He falls up the stairs. He's mumbling. He's rambling. He's falling asleep. That's the weakness.
You're not gonna let him fall in on the
China's trying to take over Taiwan, and Russia's trying to take Ukraine. Because look at America's leader. Look at it.
Why did you have to throw out
your leader is a sign of your strength. Your leader is a sign of your strength. Look at them. They're passing these laws. You got women thinking that they're men. They're passing laws for same sex. Russia, these guys wrestle bears in the winter and swim in the cold, ice cold lakes and have bombs everywhere. These dudes is built for war.
So let me ask you that question as you're saying that, right? Because Russians, you know, it's many of them outside of Putin. Putin is not the only Russian, right? So with that being said, some people feel like he's making a mockery. Some people feel like he's embarrassing the country. You know, not everybody in Russia is on Putin's side. And when it comes down to just Russians, you know, just the backstory, the mafia stories, all of these things that come down with just knowing more about what happens in Russia or even here in America with Russians, you know what I mean? Like, how long do you think something like this will even last?
This is temporary. This is
his own people turning on him?
I mean, he can always kill them. Trump, like I said before, Putin's gangster, man. Putin's gonna do what he want to do. It don't matter what Russians say. He runs the country. It's not like America. America, you can run and complain. Oh, Trump is a demon. Putin's gonna do what he want to do. Putin make a move. He's gonna make moves to make it where he's gonna rule for years to come. Russia's not as liberal as America is. Russia don't play games like America. America's all emotional and giggly and emotional. Russia's rough. They war built. They war ready. America's not built for that. America's jolly. It's falling apart. America's falling apart. I said this to you last year. That America's unraveling at the seams. And all the nations that see you live in a bubble. America's a bubble. Other nations see America falling apart from the outside in. We don't see nothing. We're blinded by TV and news and media. We don't know what the hell's going on. But these countries making moves because they know America's weakening. China's taking over Taiwan. They're moving on. Because when Trump was in office, they didn't make these moves. Now Biden's in office, they're making all kind of moves. Because America's weak. It's falling apart. It's a sign of the end.
So you keep mentioning in China, and I'm glad that you're bringing that to the surface, right? How do you feel about China playing both sides? You know, China playing offense and defense and offense, like they in the conversation on both sides.
In what way? You mean both sides?
Like when it comes down to what's happening in Russia, you know, China has hands and they're involved in what's going on over there. When it comes down to American affairs, they have some type of hands in, you know, in our affairs as well.
I mean, China again.
Playing this ally card. That's what I mean. Like, you know, as we talked about last year, well, in 2020, we went really deep in a conversation about allies. So, you know, bringing that into a whole country, a space of a whole country, an entire continent, pretty much. You know, what do you think about that?
About trying to playing both sides. You said I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, being the ally.
China's not really. I'm gonna show you. Let me show you something. Let me go Obadiah real fast. Obadiah. Watch this. Obadiah. This is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna give you the aftermath of what's gonna happen here. What this is leading to. Just to sum it up. Obadiah.
And let me read one of these comments. Let me read one of these comments, Deacon. I want to make sure we, you know, engage with these people who are paying attention and participating. We appreciate you. We got a comment that says America is using social media to influence Americans to believe Russia's citizens are against Putin. America is creating a false narrative.
I believe it.
Someone also said 0 lies told here. Thank y'all for your comments. Continue to drop your comments.
I believe it. I believe it. Russia, listen, Russia, there's loyalty in Russia. They're nationalists over there. Everyone has their own opinion. They do what they want. The same. America always does that. America always makes the leader appear as if like everyone's against them. Oh, like Iraq, Iran. The women over there are oppressed. Oh, they're suffering. Then people in the military go there. The families are happy. They're living their lives. America goes, oh, they're suffering the oppression. That ain't really the case. So you gotta be very mindful of America. Like I said before, we live in a bubble. the person in the comments making it clear. We live in a bubble. We only know what America tells us because we're not out there. When you watch the news, outside source news, they're like, oh no, that's how it's happening. It's a whole different news. It's different. Because America waters things down. America has to be the good guy. America plays the role of the good guy. But when you examine America's actions, she's not. America would, if America was in the same boat as Russia, she'd do the same thing. She bombed Somalia recently. Freaking bombed Somalia. No one's crying over that. No one's even mentioning that. America bombed Somalia. And no one's saying anything. Ukraine. What about over there?
So let me switch subjects a little bit because we got a little bit more time. I want to get into refugees, right? When it comes down to refugees, you know, we recently had a bunch of Haitians trying to come into America, and we've seen the display that, you know, put on them, and then, you know, we see the outcry for Ukraine refugees coming not just to America, but, you know, countries around as well.
And Afghan.
And Afghan. So talk to me a little bit about that. What's your thoughts on refugees and how different refugees of different ethnicities and backgrounds and colors and races are treated differently?
When you examine the situation with the so-called Haitians, to be our people, and they were trying to, they were traveling to the borders trying to, you know, pretty much escape the situation that they were in. They were faced with hardship. They were faced with brutality. They were pretty much being chased around like animals. Then you have a situation when Ukraine, with our brothers over there in Ukraine, trying to leave, and they were being dismissed and told, let the children and women go first, and let the dogs go first, and you Negroes can go after, leave the country afterwards. They were staying outside in the cold for hours. So it's the same treatment you saw among our people in the Ukraine. And remind you, there's war going on. White folks attacking white folks, and they found time to still hate us while in their land. Then here in America, the Afghanis were brought over here. They're getting HBCUs are offering them tuitions and boarding. Okay? Ukraine, same thing. Our people are despised here. They're despised and they're hated. And our people need to understand that on the news is true, because that's on TikTok. They're showing that all over the place. That's not fake news regarding our people being mistreated over there in Ukraine. That's very much factual. So that just only simply validates what the Bible says, and it says you shall be hated among all nations. Matthew 24 again, we Matthew 24 again. Just up there. I'll go back there again.
Thank you for resurfacing that.
Yeah, I'll go back to it again. 1 second. Matthew 24.
For those who just tapped in, this is our monthly segment that we do each and every month. We do it once a month with the Deacon from IUIC Philadelphia, giving a platform to these brothers, you know, and sisters to truly, you know, educate and re-educate in a way in which they do best. Keep going, Deacon.
So we read earlier in verse 6 where it says it should be you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. So there's wars taking place and rumors of wars that may be coming based upon these nuclear tests going on, China testing their nukes, South Korea testing their missiles, North Korea testing theirs, Russia testing theirs, and these missiles can reach America within approximately 30 minutes. Russia's missile can reach in 30 minutes. China's, I researched it. Russia, 30 minutes. China, 30 minutes. 30 minutes. That's nothing.
Do we have that same accuracy?
So, yeah, because it's the same region. Okay, Russia is massive. 30 minutes they can reach here. Approximately. From China and Russia, both missiles, ICBMs, can reach America within 30 minutes. Where you going?
But I'm saying, Deacon, do we have that same accuracy? Like, if we wanted to send something their way, could we get there in 30 minutes?
Yeah, but if you shoot in yours, theirs is on their way. So what difference does it make? No one's hitting nobody. It's going to be either they both hit each other, both lands hit each other, or one hits one first. And it's not going to go one hits one first. It's going to be hit each other.
But what would even get us to that point? You know what I mean? Like, as we talk about
God would do it. That's who's going to do it. It has to happen. America can't last forever. I know our people love America. Oh, it's going to go off. It's not. America is a declining empire. All the signs are there. Let me read this real fast. Verse 6 says, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass. All these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. I'm going to jump down to verse 9. No, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation. Here we go. Kingdom against kingdom. That's America, China, Russia, Iran. These are kingdoms. For it says, for nation shall, meaning in the future, rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines. That means food shortages, gas shortages, water shortages. You're seeing this. You're living this. Okay? It's just famines, not just of food, of anything. Gas, water, food, it's all the above. Famines and pestilences. That's your viruses, your COVIDs, Omicron, Megatron, whatever the hell they name they give it. Delta, Alpha, Omega, whatever these college sorority names they give it. Okay, Delta, these are all as pestilences. It says, and earthquakes. We've had those. And earthquakes, here you get it. And earthquakes in diverse places. It says in diverse places. It says, all these are the beginning of sorrows, meaning the beginning, because it's not going to happen immediately. It's going to take time. Then it says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So our people, especially when they come into this walk, they will face affliction, they will face terror, they will face death and imprisonment and hatred of all nations, Christ said, for my name's sake. And he says, and then, yes, that's pretty much it. For my name's sake. So then you go to Obadiah, going back to our original point about China playing the ally / enemy. It says here, Obadiah, verse 7, all the men of, verse 1, the vision of Obadiah, thus said the Lord concerning Edom. America is run by a nation of people known as Edom. That's why New York is referred to as what? The Empire State. Why is it called the Empire State? If you Google Empire State, no one knows why. We don't know why. It came out of nowhere. That's not why. The reason why America is referred to as the Empire, New York is referred to as the Empire State, is because New York is the capital, the main capital of an empire. DC comes second. New York is first. New York is the epicenter of everything. What's here? The World Bank is here. United Nations building is here. The Stock Exchange building is here. Everything is here. What's in DC aside the World Capitol, the building there? But everything of vital importance.
Treasury Department is in DC.
True, but the most important place is here. World Trade Center was here before it got hit. The World Banks is here. Stock Exchange is here. Everything is here. Everything in the majority, of course, Treasury is in DC. I'll give you that. But New York is the world's capital. It is the Empire State. It's the most important. If you hit this way, these are referred to as what's the word it gives? The word it gives. The terminology. This place.
For New York?
Not New York. I'm trying to think what it's called. The term. It's called hold on a second. The Bible gives it a name.
Oh,
give me 1 second. Exodus 15 gives it a name. Hold on. Exodus 15. Give me 1 second. It's called.
We appreciate y'all joining in on this conversation. It's Eythan. Once again, tapped in 98.5 WJYN each and every Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. I'm on your midday dials.
It's called Eminent Place. Eminent
Place. What do you mean by that?
Places. That's DC. That's New York. Those are the most vital areas to hit when you attack the place. So if New York is hit, it's going to be damaged.
And 9/11 and to
9/11, right? That was ground zero. They call it ground zero.
So
right.
New York and DC that was hit at the same time.
Yes, because those are the eminent places initially. So now imagine a nuke hitting that. It's going to be a problem. Even you have what is called
well, technically
hypersonic missiles. They can reach here within 8 to 10 minutes. Hypersonic missiles, which are just as damaging. Not as bad as a nuke, but devastating as well. I'll read on. Obadiah. It says, the vision of Obadiah concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen, meaning there will be a spokesperson, a president or a leader among the other nations that will turn against Edom. Edom in this instance is referring to America. I'm going to prove it. It says, Arise ye, and let us arise up against her in battle. Her is Edom. It says, verse 2, behold, I have made thee small, meaning hated, among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, referring to Edom. Thou that dwells in the clefts of the rock, because America, the race of people from America, they come from the Caucasus Mountains because they're on the clefts of the rock. The original inhabitation was called Mount Sierra. Then later on, the mountains of Covadonga in Spain, and also the mountains of Caucasus, between the Caspian and Black Sea. It says here, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Because they will come out of those mountains over time and gain power and authority on the earth. So they will ask the question.
And I want to get to one more thing too, Deacon, before I let you go.
Sure. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. Now, when you examine America, what's America's symbol? It's the eagle. The dollar bill, your back of your quarter, is the eagle. America's symbol is the eagle. It's a bird of prey, a bird that sits upon the top of the mountains and seeks other birds or animals that are weaker than itself, and they prey upon those animals. That's what America does. It says here, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, though thou set the nest among the stars, going into what? That's their space force, their satellites. That's this nest among the stars. Their space station. Elon Musk, and what's the name? The other guy, the other white dude, Elon Musk, another guy that traveled there up there too. He's the owner of something. For guy's name, this is not Pence. Oh man, y'all know the coming board. I forgot his name. He up there. He trying to go up there too. He's a millionaire, multi-billionaire also. Anyway, on the stars.
Let me get to my next. Let me get to my next thing. We got about 10 minutes,
sure.
right?
So let me get one more thing real fast. Verse 7. Regarding China, it says, all the men of thy confederacy, meaning your allies. It says, Mike Bezos, him. All the men of thy confederacy have brought peace even to the border. This is the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Meaning they're not really your allies, they're your enemies. And prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So the Bible prophesies that the enemies who America refers to as the allies who America refers to as the allies will eventually become their enemies. China involved, and the EU as well, and Russia as well. We're not really allies, but EU and China, definitely.
We definitely want to get. I want to dig more deeper into this conversation because a lot of people have, some questions that they want to know. I got some questions off of Twitter, but we got to get into our next conversation. I appreciate everybody dropping in comments. Thank y'all for tuning in and being patient with us this evening. Once again, we're tapping in with the Deacon from IUIC Philadelphia. Make sure you get with them. Deacon, tell them how they can support, check out information, our website, and all that good stuff.
Yes, you can reach us at israelunite.org. That's israelunite.org. Visit us. All of our information is on there, our locations. You can also visit IUIC in the classroom on YouTube, IUIC in the classroom 2, TWO, in word form. You can also visit IUIC events where the bishop, the elder of our organization, has shout out Tuesdays as well. You can also visit IUIC Philadelphia. You can rewind and watch it again. We'll just play it again. IUIC Philadelphia. You also have on my channel, Our Hidden History Radio, where I go into the history of our people from the time of the beginning to the Dark Ages. I'm talking about King Arthur, King James, the Vikings, Shakespeare, Mozart, Beethoven. I go into all that history regarding
this is our first time missing. I was going to say this is our first time missing Black History Month in 3 years.
No, I have it every Sunday. Don't worry about it.
Well, I'm talking about on the show. We've been doing it since 2020, and we missed it.
Yes. Definitely. But it's all right. It's all right. They're getting some of it now. But definitely reach out to us. Once again, israelunite.org. Our website. Check us out. Get some more information regarding our organization. Organized Nation.
Make sure y'all check them out. IUIC Philadelphia. Yo, Deacon, I want to get into something. Right now we have a Black woman who's being sworn in as a Supreme Court justice. She's getting a lot of heat from, everyone, that does not necessarily look like her or come from a familiar place that she comes from. But I wanted to ask you because one thing you always bring up is, the topic of puppets. And as a Black woman, and I see this accomplishment, rolling out, I'm super excited for her. I want, everything that's coming her way to excel to the next level, right? But I just want to ask you a question. When it comes down to Miss Jackson, do you see her, a Supreme Court Judge Jackson, do you see her, being a puppet as well? Just in your opinion.
Sis, what Black person in authority do you know of really has power on this earth? Obama had no power. Obama had no power.
This is a different type of power. This is putting a Black woman in position of power. I think this is just a different type of power.
It's power, but when our sisters have power, do they really help their people when they have it? For the most part?
But I'm just saying this is the highest court in the land. This is just like a different type of power.
Well, I'll tell you this. You read earlier, it says, the Lord says, where's it at? Then the Lord, verse 4 says, then shall I bring thee down. The word bring thee down goes into the word decline. America is in the age of what we know as the age of decadence. The age of decadence is a time when the empire begins to decline. Most powerful empires, especially America's ancestors like Britain, Rome, they last no more than 260 years. America's 245 years old. America's not seeing another 10 years. It's not. It's not going to make it. 10, 15 years, this is done. Most empires last no more than 260 something years. That's the highest in the most modern of empires, leading to this one. And the reason why I said it is because, again, I'm gonna get Jeremiah 31 real fast. When it comes to sisters becoming the judge, all right, a judge. When you examine the decline of empires, you'll find a number of things. You'll find frivolity. Frivolity means foolishness, like Instagram, TikTok. That's foolishness. You'll find athletes, comedians, and actors becoming leaders or being looked at as leaders. That's a sign of decline. Every empire had this going on. Sports and sex is pushed in the forefront as a distraction. The money begins to lose its value. They make you go into digital. That's the sign of a declining empire. And last but not least, sister, is women being put in a position of authority. That's a sign of a declining empire. That's feminism. That's the sign of a declining empire. Rome did it. There was a man named Cato, a senator. He said, Rome rules the world, he said, but women rule over Rome. And Rome fell shortly after that. So these are all signs. These are all signs.
Don't do that to us.
No, you got to hear it. Because it's delusion. It's all delusion. These are signs of a declining empire. Look at Jeremiah 31. It says, how long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Meaning, the sisters, women, they will begin to excel beyond the men. That's a new thing. Because we all know full well there's no time in history where women had complete domination or rulership over the world, over men in authority. That never happened. And when they had any authority, if they had any kind of authority, it's because men gave it to them. Or they were born into it. Their father was a king, and so on and so forth. They became an heiress of a throne.
That was my point. I was just about to get you with.
But the king was still essential to that queen. The king was essential to that. So what I'm showing is that whenever you have women being put in these positions of authority like this, it's not for the betterment of the empire. It's the sign of its end. It's a sign of its fall. It's not beneficial. Now, if she becomes court judge, whatever that is, that's fine. It's not going to change us being beaten and killed and being mistreated in Ukraine or being treated like garbage as refugees. The Afghanis are being treated better than us. You have Mayor David Dinkins. He was powerless. He was a mayor. He was powerless. What did he do? He got freaking called nigger, disrespected. He was a mayor, higher than a judge. Mayor David, remember David Dinkins? All black folks of my age and up remember Mayor David Dinkins. The man had no power. So he was mayor. So I'm just giving an example of even as a black, I'm not insulting because he's a sister. Even as black men put in the power, Obama from Chicago. Chicago was worse than ever when he was in office and when he was out of office. So I understand that when we see a person of color given a certain level of authority or put in the forefront to a certain extent, we get excited like, oh, wow, finally, progression. But America's not progressing. America is digressing. She's falling apart because she has to. This is the land of our captivity. This is the land of our oppressor. So as much as you can be happy for her gaining that power and authority, at the same time, you have to understand America is on borrowed time. America is temporary. The kingdom is forever. The kingdom to come is forever. This is temporary. We're not here because we're free. We're here because of disobedience, and we're not. And because of that disobedience, we were brought here so that we're not free. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to the king arriving. The black Messiah shows up here. That's my president. That's our judge. That's who the judge is going to be, not the sister. The black Messiah who was killed and hung for hours and hours on a cross, lynched by Rome. That's the judge and king we should be waiting for, not the sister, not a brother, not a mayor. That's of no relevance to me. You know, so that's my stance on it. But again, the Bible says that's a new thing. Our judge is the black Messiah, Jesus the Christ, for the world in English is called Jesus the Christ. Mm-hmm. That's who our judge is. That's who our king is. That's who we should seek for, or seek to be our judge and king. Not a sister. That's especially in this place. She's going to be a judge of what? Judge to do what? Pass laws and regulations and rules that bypass us and benefit others?
I mean, we got to give her a chance. You know, we never know what she can do in a position. She's right now being sworn in for, you know, one of the highest courts in the land. She's mm-hmm. coming from a very
like Mayor David Deacon.
Yeah,
and Mayor Deacon and Obama.
Deacon.
And Colin Powell. What about Colin Powell? Secretary of State. What did he do? Colin Powell, Jamaican.
But he was a little money hungry. I feel like that was just a little different.
He's still black. He's still black with power.
I know, but I just want to give her a chance, and I feel like if we give her a chance, we may see a shift happen. I hear everything you're saying. I can take in everything you're saying, but I'm just saying we need to, while we're here, though, while we're still here in these human bodies, you know what I mean? We still have to see something through, right?
See what?
Okay.
See what?
Listen.
I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but if you want to be in these physical bodies, you want to see the end.
Yeah.
You want to see the conclusion of the matter. That's what you want to see. See her coming into
Black people have too much hope. It's one of the captions. Somebody said black people.
We do. Zechariah tells you that we're. I'll get it. Zechariah says it here. Watch. Zechariah.
Running off that Obama hope.
Yeah. It says Zechariah 9:12.
Yeah.
It says, turn you to the stronghold. The stronghold is his Bible. Matthew 24, Christ said this is the beginning of the end. Mm-hmm. I understand we want to see our people excel in this time because we're always looked upon in a bad light, gangsters, thugs, and whores, and thoughts, and strippers. I understand, sis, why you want to see your sister seeing that light. I get it. However, this is the problem with us. It says, turn ye to the stronghold. We got to turn to this. He says, ye prisoners of hope. You prisoners of hope. That's what we do. Because why are we prisoners of hope? Because we're in captivity, but we still hope. Keep hope alive. We be always with that. I understand why. It says, even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. So double means what? Means the reward, the blessing, the kingdom. Because when we're seeking crumbs now. But the Lord's gonna give us bread in the kingdom. This is crumbs. But the blessing we get here is crumbs. But the kingdom is forever. That's bread.
I appreciate
it. That's milk and honey, you know?
I can't wait till next month so we can keep these conversations going. I appreciate you for coming through. Thank you for taking your time. Thank you for everybody being patient with us to make sure we got this, this live going on Instagram. Once again, we'll be getting these going every month, once a month. If you got any questions or topics that you want us to go over while we're doing these Instagram lives, make sure you hit us up. You can hit me up at revive_POC. Deacon, tell the people how they can find you and stay locked with everything you got going on.
Once again, IsraelUnite.org. Hit us up at IsraelUnite.org for more information. IUIC events, IUIC in the classroom for the videos, the classrooms. We have class 7 days a week, 3 times a day. Free of charge, non-stop.
Beautiful.
You can make radio shows, Braving and Wolves, Our in History, Wisdom Cried Out, Shout Out Tuesdays, Lions Den. We got all radio shows, outlets.
Free knowledge, people. Free knowledge, Deacon.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I look
No
forward to our
ties.
I look to no ties. You got all the jokes, man. I swear. I look forward to our conversation in the month of April. I appreciate you always. Stay blessed. Talk to you soon.
That's it. Thanks. Shalom, y'all.
Peace.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.